the most dangerous narco game in Mexico. Welcome back, viewers. Today's topic will take us into the murky world of organized crime and the perilous narco game in Mexico. Let's talk about this exciting and suspenseful topic. So buckle up as we explore the seedy side of Mexico's most dangerous narcotics trade. To truly comprehend the origins of the narco game, we must delve into the dark and complex world of Mexican drug cartels. These cartels have a long history of being linked to crime, conflict over power, and violence. Within these criminal organizations, a bizarre form of entertainment called the narco game was created. The beginnings of the Mexican drug trade, which took off in the latter half of the 20th century, can be linked to the narco game. Drug cartels sought ways to gauge the loyalty and competence of their members as they gained strength and influence. They required a way to determine who was most skilled at surviving in the risky and competitive world of organized crime. The cartels started setting up a number of challenges and tests for their members after getting ideas from real-life situations they encountered. These tests were designed to mimic the various risks and obstacles involved in the illegal drug trade. This developed into the narco game as we know it today. The game itself is a tricky and complicated endeavor. Players must make their way through a labyrinth of illegal activities such as drug trafficking, territorial conflicts, and violent encounters. Participants must show their cunning, resourcefulness, and willingness to do whatever it takes to succeed because the stakes are high. There are some common elements to the narco game, even though the specifics vary from cartel to cartel. Players frequently have to transport drugs over perilous terrain, elude law enforcement, and defend their cartel's interests from competing groups. The goals of these tests are to test participants' limits and demonstrate their value to the cartel hierarchy. It's crucial to understand that the narco game extends beyond the actual cartel members. Sometimes, unwittingly participating in the game as pawns or victims, innocent bystanders are drawn into the violence and danger that surround the drug trade. This emphasizes even more the narco game's extensive and devastating effects on Mexican society. The development of drug cartels in Mexico is closely related to the beginnings of the narco game. They depict a disturbing reality in which criminal organizations view conflict and violence as entertainment. As we investigate further, we will learn about the risks and repercussions of this risky game as well as the broader effects it has on Mexico's ongoing fight against organized crime and drug trafficking. Now that we understand where the narco game came from, the drug cartels have established a set of rigid rules that govern how the narco game is played. In addition to enforcing control and maintaining order within the cartel hierarchy, these rules also test the members' bravery, loyalty, and survival skills. Drug trafficking is a key component of one of the narco game's fundamental rules. Players are in charge of moving illegal goods over great distances and perilous roads, including cocaine, marijuana, or methamphetamine. This frequently entails avoiding law enforcement, navigating through areas that are heavily patrolled, and making sure that the drugs are successfully delivered to their intended locations. Territorial conflicts are important in the narco game. Drug distribution networks and lucrative trafficking routes are constantly contested by cartels. Players may find themselves in violent encounters with competing cartels where they must protect their territory, wipe out rivals, or launch calculated attacks to demoralize their foes. It is crucial to keep the cartel's loyalty intact. Players are expected to exhibit unwavering loyalty and commitment to their team. Disloyalty or betrayal carries severe penalties, such as incarceration, torture, or even death. Players must navigate a complex web of alliances in the narco game, frequently relying on their negotiating skills and capacity to discern the intentions of their fellow cartel members. Trust is a valuable resource in the narco game. The narco game includes more than just physical difficulties. Gameplay includes a significant amount of psychological conflict. Players must always be on the lookout for potential informers or infiltrators among them. To recognize and eliminate dangers to the security and operations of the cartel, they must use their intelligence and intuition. Failure in the narco game has serious repercussions. If they make crucial errors, betray the cartel, or are apprehended by law enforcement, players run the risk of being imprisoned, subjected to torture, or even put to death. Success in the game is rewarded under extreme pressure, but failure is met with swift and severe punishment. It's crucial to understand that the narco game goes beyond the cartel's jurisdiction. Unwittingly participating in the game, innocent civilians frequently find themselves the victims of violent clashes or the targets of extortion and intimidation. This emphasizes even more the Narco game's broad implications and moral conundrums. The Narco game's rules and gameplay depict a sinister world where ruthlessness, loyalty, and survival instincts are valued above all else. As our investigation progresses, we will delve further into the risks and repercussions that participants in this perilous game must deal with, as well as the broader effects it has on Mexican society. The Narco game is not for the weak of heart because it exposes players to great risk and has dire repercussions. Let's explore the dangers this perilous game entails in depth and the wide-ranging effects they may have. The danger that participants in the Narco game face cannot be overstated. Participants are surrounded by violence and brutality all the time. They work in a society where betrayal is common and trust is hard to come by. Rival cartels are an ongoing threat that can result in bloody altercations, surprise attacks, and even all-out war. Players must be willing to regularly put their lives in danger by participating in combat. Additionally, law enforcement organizations relentlessly pursue those who are active in the narcotics trade. The government uses a variety of tools and strategies to break up cartels and disrupt drug trafficking networks. The risk of being detained, imprisoned, or even killed when interacting with law enforcement is constant. The game's requirement that players avoid capture heightens the sense of danger and the need for constant vigilance. The Narco game also seeps into the lives of defenseless civilians with disastrous results. Extortion, coercion, and violence are frequently used by cartels to keep hold of territory and communities. Innocent bystanders might suffer violent crimes or get caught in the crossfire of cartel fights. The game contributes to a cycle of instability and fear that permeates Mexican society, having an impact on the lives of countless individuals and communities. The consequences of participating in the Narco game extend beyond immediate physical dangers. The psychological toll on players is immense. The constant stress, fear, and pressure can lead to mental health issues such as anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. The game creates an environment where trust is elusive, making it difficult for participants to form meaningful relationships or lead a normal life outside of the cartel. The impact of the Narco game reaches beyond the individuals involved. Mexican society as a whole bears the brunt of its consequences. The game fuels the ongoing drug war, perpetuating a cycle of violence, corruption, and instability. It undermines the rule of law, erodes trust in institutions, and hampers social and economic development. Innocent civilians are robbed of their safety and well-being as the Narco game disrupts communities, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. It's important to understand that other countries also experience the dangers and negative effects brought on by the Narco game. As cartels try to grow their operations and create global networks, the game is intertwined with the international drug trade. This increases the risks even more because players run the risk of running into international law enforcement agencies as they become entangled in a complex web of transnational crime. The Narco game simulates a terrifying reality where danger lurks around every corner, and the results can be disastrous. As we continue our investigation, we'll look at the debate surrounding this game and its broader implications for Mexico's fight against organized crime and drug cartels. The Narco game's existence has generated a great deal of debate. Critics contend that it glorifies violence, encourages criminal activity, and feeds the drug trafficking cycle. Additionally, the game contributes to Mexico's already deadly drug war, fueling a wave of corruption and instability. The Narco game in Mexico chillingly mirrors the deadly realities faced by those who work in the world of organized crime. This is a stark reminder of the ongoing battle against the drug cartels and the terrible effects they have on Mexican society. As our investigation comes to a close, it's critical to remember the human cost of these games and work towards solutions that can foster an environment of peace and safety for all. Thank you for joining me today on this enlightening journey into Mexico's most dangerous narco game. If you enjoyed this video as much as I did and want to see more riveting material like it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Till then, be careful, be observant, and keep discovering the world around you.